Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your boy Aves coming to you with another music video reaction. Happy SHINee Saturday, everyone. Today we are going to be reacting to I Want You. We are finally there on I Want You. So we're going to react to I Want You, the MV from The Story of Light. So yes, I'm very excited. The Fox returns. The Fox returns. And I think The Well returns too on this MV. It's been a while since I watched it, but I think The Well and The Fox and The Forest and everything, which appeared on Good Evening. We're going to watch that in just a minute, but before we do, if you're new to my channel and you love the content that you see, but you're not yet subscribed, why don't you subscribe to my channel, Moonlight Antonio, where we give you reactions, K-pop, and inspiration from under the beautiful moonlight, as well as hitting that bell for notifications so that you won't miss a single upload. Now, and if my voice sounds really bad, I had a bad week last week, so my voice is not doing so great, and my energy is a little low, but we crack on, as the British say. So crack on we shall. I'm very excited to watch this video with you guys for the first time. I've watched it by myself, but to watch it with you guys and to share my thoughts on it, that's the best part about this entire experience. So let's get into it right now. I Want You, one of my favorite songs. I say that about every song on The Story of Light, but it really is one of my favorite songs. Let's go. Yes, baby. Again, good use of the colors in this MV, and just about in every MV. I loved this. I love how like The Well has colorful water in it. Look at that. Oh, I can't let you go. I said I want you. Yep. I love the dance on this. The dance is really interesting and unique. It's very funny. I don't understand what's going on in this MV, but I really loved it. I loved every bit of it. Like there's just everything that can happen happened. That part right there always gets me. I love that part. Watching this back after such a long time, and I'm getting new things out of it as I watch it all the time. Oh na na na. 내게 와, 'cause I can't let you go. 다시 네 곁에. I love it. I said I want you. So many mixed emotions with this song and like the MV. Like I said, I get new, and I can't stop smiling now. I get new revelations from this MV every time I watch it. And looking back at it now, I was like in my 20s when this came out. So I'm like 32 now. So looking back at it now, I finally kind of understand what's going on. I think, at least now that I'm piecing it together years later, I think that all of this stuff is not, of course it's not really happening. You know, them being in like this weird black and white area with the car that's like in the middle of some kind of weird vortex of space or whatever. You know, Key being on like this huge mattress in outer space waving like he's on a beach or something. All these weird things that are happening, of course they're not really happening. I think what's happening is it's basically showing us again in a different and more exciting way trials and finding a balance, I think, between the trial and a state of rest, knowing that in the mind, knowing that everything is going to be okay because it has to be. You can't dwell in this down state for too long. You can't. You have to will yourself to a better place in the mind, and then everything else will follow. But it has to start in the mind first, in the head first. And of course, all this stuff that you see that's happening is not really happening, but as you see these weird, quirky things happen, it is an indication that life is going to go on, okay? And you have to choose to keep going and not waver. And I feel like the beginning of this MV is very interesting to me because it starts off with the fox, and y'all know what the fox represents. And they're in that forest. I always wondered if they were chasing the fox to try to like find it, or if they were trying to kind of wish the fox well on his journey to the other world. That always kind of stuck out to me, because it's like they're chasing the fox, I guess, and then they get to the well, and the well, I would say, is a well of colors that makes up who SHINee is. And in that well, on the other side, is obviously Jonghyun. And how do we know this? Because on Good Evening, as we see near the middle or near the end, they peer into the well and a shadow pops up, the shadow of Jonghyun. And then when they lift their heads, the shadow goes down. So we know who's there. I think this MV is a direct continuation of Good Evening. Definitely. Because it starts off in the forest where they left off in Good Evening, trying to find their friend. And when they find him and they see that he is no longer there, he's in another world, all of these different things, the stages of grief or the memories they're trying to capture with one another, with just, I don't know, it's very complex. This MV is very complex. Very complex. But I think, at least my personal interpretation, I think I've cracked the code on something. At least for me. Like I said, a balance. There's a balance. They're in the clouds, they're in the sky, and yet they're still dealing with problems in life. But they're on a cloud. I like that idea because it kind of implies that there's a balance that you have to find within your own mind, within your own self. That you're on your journey to happiness, not to replace the happiness you had with the person that you lost, but to create new memories, knowing that he's not there, but yet feeling that he is there in spirit. And it's like they're in the sky trying to reach him. And I think that's one of the things I love about SHINee the most, is that even in all of this, they're still reaching for Jonghyun in everything. I'm gonna try not to get emotional. Don't get emotional, baby. Don't get emotional. They're still reaching for Jonghyun in everything they are doing. I can see it in every comeback at this point, especially with the feeling. I could definitely see it. They are constantly reaching for him. And I love that aspect about SHINee, that they have not given up their search for happiness. And even though Jonghyun is not with them on that journey to happiness, in spirit, they are searching for happiness with Jonghyun in their hearts, as I've said many times. And that is one of the most beautiful messages that I could ever get out of it. And I'm not trying to read into any of this. I'm just giving my personal interpretation of what I see. I guess that is kind of, it's not reading into it, it's just kind of like, this is what I'm getting out of what I'm seeing. And the emotions that I feel when I look at this kind of MV. It's very quirky, it's very fun, it's very beautiful. But if you notice the dancing part, there's this light that's neither light nor dark. It's like a pinkish kind of light that kind of, I guess, hits against their colors on their clothes and their hair and everything. It hits against their colors. One of the things that kind of gets me about that is that now I'm reading into things a little, maybe too much with the lights and everything. There may not even be a significance, but I do feel like that everything is done in these MVs for a reason. I love the light, the color that the light is, and the fact that they're standing in this circle with other circles surrounding it, and this light is there around them, and it's like they're in a in-between point of light and darkness is how I feel. The dark moment that had come and devastated them, and then there's this light color. I don't know what the significance is of the color. All I know is that I really like seeing this color, and it was a perfect color to choose for, because SHINee, no matter how dark the situation is, SHINee is always that brighter light that's in the darkness. So I'm glad that the color is not dark. SHINee, to me, has always been a group of color, and so it's no surprise that they chose a very interesting color for the stage that they're on in that room of light. The same room, I would argue, that is for Good Evening, and it's just this light room. I love that. I love every aspect of this MV, and it's really nice to see it again after a while not seeing it and getting new things and experiences out of it and everything. And I hope that what I've said is kind of giving you a new take on this song as well as the MV. It's just very interesting. I never thought of it in that way until now. But yeah, wow. Almost got a little emotional there talking about that part, because it just, I don't know, it hits me. Plus, maybe I'm just emotionally vulnerable because of the hectic week that I've had this week. It was a terrible week, but I got through it. But let me know what you think about this MV in the comments. That'll do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It is so good to be back in front of the camera and in front of all of you guys. And let's have a good rest of the weekend or whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next week with more content, more reactions, more K-pop, more inspiration. So until next week, I'll see you then. Peace. Love you guys. Bye. Cue that outro, baby. Cue that outro. Peace.